Are we going live?
We're live.
You didn't even tell me. Jeez,
Hey guys,
kid.
we're live.
Here we go.
What's up, folks? This is Trey Wynn. This is Chat 10 Sports, the beautiful three of us, and others who contribute at chat10sports.com. But welcome in. It is another week. We are episode 21.
Here we are.
Pour it out, boys. It's 2019. We're here.
We're legal.
We are. But welcome in, folks. We have a ton of stuff to talk about tonight. But like we always do, we're coming to you live on Facebook and Periscope, so come and check us out. Guys, what else we got going on?
Well, as usual, we want your opinions, we want your comments, we want your likes, we want your shares. So talk with us tonight. We got quite a few topics, so give us some thoughts and opinions, like, of course.
We also want your friends' likes,
Yes.
opinions, shares. So we're going to be on Twitter tonight, the Periscope, Facebook Live. That's the live portion.
Yeah.
But if you go to our website, you can see it all at chat10sports.com. But we're also going to be on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube at some point in time.
We're on YouTube.
We're on
YouTube. We're on
Every episode we put up on YouTube, so you can watch it, but I find it easier to listen.
Yeah. But if you ever have questions about anything, all on the website, along with our articles. Pretty good read, some of them. So
Yeah. Some of them.
so give it a look. See.
Yeah, and this week, speaking of our website, I just showed it to the wrong group.
Oops, I did it again.
My daughter's kindergarten class is getting a notification
Yes!
on Chat 10 Sports right now. But speaking of Chat 10 Sports, our guy Curtis McKibben put up the Memphis Blues, the blueprint of a rebuild of where the Memphis Grizzlies are at this day and age, where fans are, since Kibby's been a fan your whole life, correct?
Yeah. Well, ever since they came.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember going to the Pyramid as a kid.
Did you?
I didn't go inside. I remember going to the actual facility and seeing it. But, yeah, obviously, Kibby's made this clear in his article. Memphis is a basketball town.
No question.
A lot has to happen for them to get back on track. But go check out his article. Also, Big Mike Pipe, our guy Michael Piper, wrote another article for us about Tennessee football.
Always good.
About Jim Chaney, how big of a signing that is. But I love the fact that he details where he comes from. I didn't know this, but Drew Brees was one of his quarterbacks whenever he was at Purdue.
Wow.
Way back probably when I was 7 years old.
Wow.
But yeah, folks, do us a favor. Yeah, like the guy said, share the show for us on Facebook Live and on Periscope. But like we said, we have a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to go NFL, Braves, Predators. We're going to make the round tonight.
Yeah.
Some Titans and some Vols. But let's just jump into it, fellas. As far as NFL playoffs, there are some things as far as NFL news that we want to touch on. We did talk about it whenever the whole shebang went down, but the Bears have actually been talking and kind of fielding some questions, I guess, and opening some lines of communication with Kareem Hunt, and they're open to signing him. Any thoughts on that? You like it? You love it?
I don't hate it. I mean, I don't know. It's really hard. I get the ethical aspect of it, just try to keep him out, but I don't know. I never thought it was over the top, so...
Yeah. Well, why not Ray Rice, too? My thing is, just please, Roger Goodell, don't make football an ethical choice for me. I want to lay my head down at night. And there's a lot of guys lined up to run the ball in the NFL, and that didn't make it to the NFL, maybe in the CFL. He's a good running back. I expected it. I mean, Reuben Foster got signed immediately. I don't think...
Come on.
I don't think behavior is necessary. We shouldn't be looking to these athletes for guidance as how to live our lives, but we do because they're in the spotlight and they're millionaires, and we all get really pumped up for our games.
Exactly.
So I don't hate it, don't love it.
I had to take down my kindergarten post, so
hey, dude, views of you.
Yeah. My wife said, "Please take that down right now." No, but to me, Kareem Hunt, I think the situation and the video itself, obviously, it's damning. It's not a good look for any athlete or person to have that on record or off of record, for that matter. But it's one of those things. To me, a guy like Kareem Hunt, and Clay Travis talks about this all of the time, if your talents outweigh your issues or your problems, you're going to have success, and you're going to be that guy. Like he's talked about Colin Kaepernick for years, it seems like. Yeah. His talent on the field, he was benched, got cut, and everything went down from there. The talent outweighs the issues to me for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
It's a one-time thing. who knows if alcohol or drugs or other things were included in that event, but it's something to me, I think everyone deserves a second chance within reason.
Sure.
Obviously, if an NFL team did not want to have him, they wouldn't be talking to him, but obviously Matt Nagy made the postseason, and because of old Matt Parkey, didn't get the job done. So let's see how we can improve our team from there. So a couple other things with news. Nick Foles is unlikely. It's likely he has taken his last snap with the Eagles. Today, the Eagles themselves made it clear that Carson Wentz is their quarterback going forward, if he can stay healthy. That'd be the big question for them next year, is if he does go down, who's going to be the backup if Foles goes out and gets the cash money.
Which I think you will.
Yeah, which I think a lot of folks, my brother is hounding me about how the Titans need to go get Nick Foles as a backup and or transition starter for the Titans.
And I say backup's a strong word there.
Yeah.
It's going to be really
He's going to be, he's
going to make anyone compete for their job.
But if you beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, coming off the bench, he played in the postseason last year as well, but you have a pretty good run. The Titans beat the Eagles. I was looking through. Titans beat the Eagles. They beat the Cowboys. I'm trying to think who else we beat that played postseason ball. But yeah, quite a few different teams that the Titans competed with, and or they lost to the Chargers by a point.
Yeah.
Of course, Ravens blew us out, but that's one of those things. I think Nick Foles is a guy that could make a huge difference for any franchise. So I'm sure, like Kirk Cousins last year, people are going to be shelling it out. And
don't be surprised if he's paired with somebody that drafts a quarterback high as well. Him and Teddy Bridgewater, some of those guys that are proven they could steer the ship for the time being, but maybe draft somebody for the future. I think he's right at 30. He's not. He's still got some years for sure, especially being a backup.
Yeah,
that's definitely given him some longevity.
Yep.
Take a few hits off the body. He's a great quarterback for anybody that gets him, though.
For sure. Yeah, he's going to get paid. He'll be fine.
Kyler Murray declared for the NFL draft. I think everybody saw that coming. It's not that he's not capable. We were just talking before the show. It's just like, why would you want to put your body through that as a 5'9" man?
Yeah. And we talked about, in case anyone didn't hear this, Deion Sanders came out and just said, "Look, if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm going to the NFL. I'm picking up the baseball bat. I'm not looking back." Which I think in his obviously his career playing for the Falcons and for the Braves, I think he said, I don't know.
He would have picked baseball.
Would have picked baseball over football. Obviously, the physical torture that football can be.
Yeah.
CTE and other career.
Big money, though.
Yeah.
For a first-round draft pick.
Huge money in the here and now. And what we talked about was the fact that it's a short-term versus long-term thinking of what side of the fence you're on with that. To me, I'm more of the long-term guy. If it takes you 3 to 4 years to get through the farm leagues for the athletics, to get up there and be a shortstop or second baseman or whatever for the A's, it's like, for the simple toll on your body, the money factor. Yes, you can make more money over the long term, and I think he has a better opportunity there.
Right.
With the $15 million, obviously the A's had the rights to him, so it's kind of saying, hey, give me the money I want, or we'll be done here, and I'll move on. But it's one of those things. I would not be shocked to see him go the NFL route. And then in 4 or 5 years be in an A's jersey, since they technically have the rights for him.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and there's a big chance because of the stratospheres and the different levels there that he never makes it to the bigs. Yeah, and I think that may be weighing on him as well. You always have the what if in the back of your mind. You were a Heisman, probably should should have won the Heisman, right?
He did
win the Heisman.
Yeah. He upset Tua.
That's right. Yeah.
He and Tua are not.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. They're probably best friends.
He's a little better at baseball than Tebow, apparently.
Slightly better. But it does sound like the MLB really wants him to stay. They really want him.
And somebody will take a shot at him. Like if the A's do renege and I guess they blow up the original deal, they have the rights, and I think they will try to hold on to him in some form or fashion. But if somebody's willing to pay him more money, there will be someone willing to pay him more money, even if he's, part of it is he gets to play NFL.
But look at Russell Wilson. He's been the comparison for Kyler Murray because I think this upcoming offseason he plans to play with the Yankees in spring ball. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Kyler Murray. And at the end of the show, we have an agree or disagree for Kyler Murray, so we can all vocalize our love or disdain or disagreement with him for his choice. But again, for everybody rolling in right now, if you'll share the show for us on Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook, we would appreciate that. We're going to talk some NFL playoffs. Obviously, it's been whittled down to 4 teams now as the conference champions have been picked, or I guess they've put themselves in those positions.
Pretty abysmal first round of games.
Unbelievable.
Rough.
I had if I was betting last week, I'm going to probably bet Chargers. I'm going to bet Chiefs.
Yeah.
Picking the Saints.
And we talked about it.
And Rams as well. But I had no anticipation or even thought that the Patriots would come out. Just get up, 28-7 at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
Just absolutely dunking them.
Big brother.
And Tom Brady's had Phillip Rivers' number for a decade?
Yeah.
More?
7,
I think Phil Rivers could take an 09 picture with Tom Brady.
Well, that's 10-year challenge.
Still the same.
Yeah, we were talking about 10-year challenges, but Phil Rivers has not had a good 10-year challenge.
Does he have a kid every time that he loses?
He loses to Tom Brady, man.
He's got,
maybe that's what it is.
Number 9's about a year old, and then number 10 will be here in the coming months.
William, some call him Bill.
Yeah.
So tell me what y'all think about the Colts getting kind of paddled by the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs just showed their muscles. I mean, we were talking, I think I even said the Chiefs' defense is terrible. Yeah. But they shut them out. Right. I mean, and Andrew Luck has been real hot rolling into that game, and you wonder if, like, the 2 weeks or whatever in between, maybe the Chiefs got a little bit of a rest or whatever, but it surprised the heck out of me, man. I thought that was going to be a really close game.
I did too.
I thought and the Rams Cowboys was one of the closer games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made it look a little more respectable at the end, but they never felt like they had a chance at it. So
yeah, and it's something to me, like, as of right now, it's interesting to see how the Chiefs beat a 6th seed in the Colts, 2nd seed Patriots beat the 5th seed Chargers,
straight chomp.
Saints 1st seed against the 6th seed in the Eagles, and I'm thinking here we are whittled down to the best teams in both conferences.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, who will be in the Super Bowl come whenever that date is? The date and time, I guess, is probably at the top up here. February 3rd, but it's just something to me. If I'm picking, who are y'all picking between the Patriots and the Chiefs?
Because
it's going to be a war. It's going to be a shootout.
I think Arrowhead played a big part in that Colts game. I think that locked Andrew Luck. Yeah, because Kurt and I spoke about it last week. Definitely have those play calls at the line. He does a lot of changes, and I think Tom does a lot of the same stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to cause some problems. And the Chiefs have so much firepower. Sammy Watkins coming back. He had a nice touchdown there, and so I'm taking Chiefs, man. I think we're gonna need a lot of chalk.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of domestic assault, Tyreek Hill, that guy in college, and he's still no one ever questioned it until I think Kareem Hunt got in trouble. Really, I mean, he kind of was buried.
Right.
But that's a team that the talent never ends. I mean, Kelsey's probably the best tight end in the league.
Yep.
Mahomes is looking like the best quarterback in the league this year.
His arm alone, the power and the mechanics of which he throws with is absolutely.
I don't know if he was a pitcher, but he throws like a pitcher. They were like, "Is that a curveball?" I think there's one pass he was kind of falling back, but he kind of
there was one pass
his elbow did a whip.
The pocket formed in a way that it kind of got onto his outside shoulder, so he just threw the sidearm, and it was spot on. And of course, I think last week prior to that game, he had a no-look kind of example, and he hit a couple trash cans. But what about the NFC? Or what did you say? You said Chiefs? Patriots?
I gotta stick with Chiefs. I'm saying Chiefs Saints in the bowl. Saints win it, so I'm gonna stick with that. Patriots look good. You saw Tom Brady getting hyped to mini-men on the Twitter yesterday. A little 50 Cent, I think 50 even clapped back, was like, man, if that doesn't get you hype,
Yes.
He's still here, that's what he keeps saying. Because he is. He's still here. He's still
he's 40.
Ridiculously good.
I think Drew Brees actually turned 40 today, and then, Tom Brady's 41.
They've got to do it for Drew. The Saints have to do it for Drew. That's where I'm at.
Oh, man.
Cool. If you haven't seen Drew Brees' hype video that he had at his pregame speech, please go check that out on Instagram.
It's worth
to watch.
Yeah, it's because I'm actually looking at it right now. In my opinion, I'm picking Chiefs to go all the way. I want them to win.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have
NFC. Who you got?
Well, I'm saying Chiefs for the AFC.
I
For
know.
the NFC. Man,
That's a tough game.
that's a flip.
They're both. I mean,
I'm gonna go Rams. I like Chomp.
Okay.
I think Breeze has had his time. Not like obviously he's won a Super Bowl, but they've got a fantastic. They put their fans put the Titans fans to absolute shame.
man.
Yeah.
I mean that stadium, Mercedes. I guess the old Mercedes. Now that the Falcons have the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but
yeah.
that stadium is unlike anything, and they are
Best fan base.
unbelievable.
Right now, I think, with Steelers being a little bit down, I think they are the best fan base in NFL right now.
What do you think for NFC?
I'm taking Saints. I think old Breezy Bear is going to do it again, man. He's another one. I don't think he gets enough credit for being as old as he is and being as good as he is.
I wonder if he's played a secondary as good as the Rams.
He took a few hits in that game. I was like, oh,
yeah. He did. This was a highlighted game. It was another one of those.
Yeah,
came down to. It was another close game earlier on in the year.
Do you think the Bears were better than either the Patriots or the Chiefs, though, as far as like a full body of work of the season?
no.
Okay. I kind of was bummed out the Bears didn't go a little further.
I think the Bears are on that peripheral as far as really taking that next step because
They're right
these are
across.
the four best teams in the league
this year. Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like the power rankings just whittled down to the. I mean, it's what you expected to happen.
Exactly.
So.
These are the four highest scoring teams as well. So.
But yeah, moving on. Got some Atlanta Braves news. Kimmy's going to hit us with some rundown.
Yeah, man.
Do us a favor. Explain as much as you can.
You did it.
I mean, you don't have to do it. But why are these guys being signed right now, and what are they trying to avoid?
They avoided arbitration with everybody on the roster. That's huge. Basically, what that is the team has one number they think the player's worth. The player and their agent have another number. They were able to agree on what number was right.
And basically, a third party comes in.
A third party would have come in, some sort of a panel, and they either pick the player's or the team's number. They don't pick some middle ground.
Yeah.
But there's some big names out there that were due up. Vizcaino, the reliever. He's our closer. Fulte signed an inked a deal, 5.475. Charlie Culberson, the outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's David Duvall. Yeah, another outfielder we got, I think, from the Reds.
Was it Adam Duvall?
Adam Duvall, yeah. David Duvall's the golfer.
He just came in, though, right?
Yeah, he came in at the end of last year, I think from the Reds.
That's right.
I want to say. Sam Freeman, another pitcher. Gaussman was the big sign last year, the starter. And then Winkler's another kind of reliever guy. But
I think it's a pretty... I don't know how big of a thing it is for them to avoid arbitration.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a waste of time that they could be talking to other prospects.
Right, and I think it just kind of shows, like, everybody's on board.
Right.
Yeah.
They believe in the team.
Exactly.
Trying to go win now.
Yeah.
They're going to make some more moves.
Yeah. Sure. It's funny because you mentioned and you wrote it down as far as Dana Brown being named the VP of Scouting. Mm-hmm. Obviously has some experience from the Blue Jays with Antopoulos. Been with the Expos Nationals from 2002 to 2009. But I think it'll be interesting to see the change. Obviously, I mean, that's a pretty big title in the house.
Yeah, he's drafted 40 Major League players and 7 All-Stars since he's become a scout. He did have a short stint with the Phillies organization. Played college ball with Seton Hall. It's just another example of AA pulling people that he likes from the Blue Jays. And, he saw them come up, so he kind of knows what it was that made that franchise do the right things and spend, the right amount of time and focus in the right areas. And I think that was a heck of a sign there for scouting. But the big mentions this week has been more so in the free agent market. Yeah. Craig Kimbrell, who used to be the Braves closer, we didn't want to fork over the cash. Yeah, he's a great closer. We've been talked about with him, JT Realmuto, the catcher for the Miami Marlins. Well, for now, everybody wants him.
He's most likely to be out of Miami by the
that's pretty much. It's the writing's on the walls there. AJ Pollock's a really good outfielder from the D-backs, younger guy, but Nick Castellanos is a really good young outfielder for the Tigers, who I'd love to see him grab. The Braves have been in mentions with all 4 of those big names. it would be cool to see us come away with another starter, in my opinion, as well.
For sure.
Especially with all this talk with the Phillies, maybe getting
Bryce
Kimbrell, Bryce Harper, Dallas Keuchel.
Machado's in the talk.
Machado.
It did come out today that they, obviously, this is probably breaking the bank for any team, but to get Machado
and Harper. Oh, they've been talking about that.
Just crazy money. Just crazy.
It just pissed me off because the Phillies were already really daggum good.
Right.
So
it's never a good thing if the Jags or the Texans have a signing and the Titans just kind of sit there. I mean, the Braves, and this is something I was talking to a friend of ours, friend of the show, Andy Sims, who's written for chat10sports.com. But just talking about, hey, Anthropoulos' time with the Blue Jays. I put the article up on our Twitter today, so in case you're interested, go check that out. But it basically breaks down all the moves that he made from day one in his time with the Blue Jays. Man, he was very aggressive.
Yeah, calculated.
Yeah, I mean, he traded away Noah Syndergaard for R.A. Dickey, which at the time, obviously, hindsight's 2020. Syndergaard became a fantastic pitcher for the Mets.
But it took some time.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to win now.
Yeah, and that it's all about time frame in any sport. I mean, your time frame, it makes you wonder about where they're at with the Braves, what he thinks about the Braves, and why it seems kind of like he's reluctant to really go after it this offseason.
Promising.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I'm excited because last year was a huge swing from the previous, 3 or 4 years of just being in the dumps. Yeah. But that's a great, our guy Andy Sims kind of breaking that down. But also, I can put this up after the show, but Fansided.com put up a kind of response to the R.A. Dickey, Syndergaard trade. But there's a couple other things on here where he's, trading for Jose Reyes, Josh Johnson, other guys. Let me see here. Gets Justin Smoke off of waivers. So he has the history of being very active whenever the timing is right, but I guess I kind of respect the reluctance and the composure to not just break the bank and start throwing cash at everybody. Yeah. So at the same time, Braves fan base right now is itching with the talks of Bryce Harper, with the talks of Manny Machado. Like, what are they doing to get better? Because as of right now, you got Brian McCann, who's an older guy. Donaldson just came in, who's still an older guy that we're paying a lot of cash for.
Yeah,
so.
Donaldson, we brought in Donaldson twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And the R.A. Dickey thing, because with starters especially, it's about the whole entire rotation.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thought that R.A. Dickey was a better prospect for sure, but R.A. Dickey hasn't had a season like he had since that couple years with the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Well, the Braves brought him in, and it wasn't the
same. But it's a knuckleball. I mean, he's kind of a niche, quirky guy, and maybe they had enough aces already. They wanted somebody to kind of come in off speed, but you just never know, man. There's so many brainiacs in the baseball world that crunch numbers and watch weird,
analytics are just so far ahead.
Dude.
Probably just too far advanced for them. Good.
The article, I'm gonna risk sounding stupid here, but the WAR, WAR,
wins by replacement.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that factor in that trade alone. R.A. Dickey was 10.4, I think, and Syndergaard was 5.4, I think.
Yeah.
So he was definitely much more, much better in that category. However, like you said at the time, R.A. Dickey's production in that window that Anthopoulos was going for panned out for that particular time. I wouldn't say, and I think Fansided kind of breaks it down. Was it a good trade, bad trade? Who won?
Yeah, right.
So it's very informative, but I'm kind of itching at the same time to see him be.
Yeah.
Maybe that changed with the new VP of scouting.
Yeah.
Coming in could help that effort, but yeah, moving on here, we're hoping. I'm excited of all the sports that we've got right now. Braves, Predators, Titans, Vols. Obviously, Vols have huge news with Jim Chaney and T. Martin, which we'll talk about in a second. But I'm excited for the Braves. I'm excited to see where they go this next year. Yeah. But I am at the same time concerned about Nationals, Phillies, how everyone else is getting better. I feel like the Mets are just kind of there.
Yeah.
The Mets right now. But
yeah, they made some big moves early on, but
still the Mets right now.
I would say they don't really have. I don't feel like anyone outside of the Marlins would be a stretch to say they would win the division. I mean, it's just that's just a really NL East went from one of the worst divisions in baseball to arguably the best division in the NL in a year and a half.
Yeah, everybody making way big drastic changes that nobody expected, especially for us.
Yeah,
I would love to see what our numbers and the Vegas odds are for us. Yeah. The over under for wins. Crazy.
I know it's never like a concrete thing. Vegas is usually about 80%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 80% of the time, correct. But it's just one of those things. Like you gotta spend money to make money as far as wins and all that. But yeah, moving on. Nashville Predators. Actually, tonight take on the Washington Capitals, who just, by the way, won the Stanley Cup last year.
Yeah.
Eventually, still going there, and quite a few others. But the Predators are currently in second place in the Central Division with 58 points. They are best prior to tonight, so hopefully they can put some points on the Capitals and get some assists and help out there. But the Jets, who they did face last year in the playoffs, are leading with 60 points and are currently on a 2-game winning streak. Obviously, a huge topic for the Predators have been the injuries to PK Subban, Arvidsson, Forsberg, Yannick Weber's back officially tonight, and UC Soros will get the start tonight in the net, so Pekka Rinne can take a little bit of a rest for the old man, who's playing fantastic. However, a big concern for the Predators right now is the power play. Offensively, their production, I've got it pulled up here. I had to go to Fox Sports to check this stuff out. But as far as their overall production on the power play, they're currently in 24th out of 29 teams with 14.6% as far as their power play percentage to get, obviously, goals. They've had, let's see here, 157 opportunities with 23 goals. Is not, obviously, the kind of production you want.
Rough.
Now, the big conversation and the expectation for the Predators, since we've been consistently a playoff team, been to the Stanley Cup Finals, almost made it again last year. It's a huge concern, especially, and as much as we see power plays happen in hockey, got to see some productivity go up. In course, that could be a huge gap, an issue because of the injuries, but a lot of those productive players are back, so it'll be very fun to see kind of where the season goes from here. And hopefully they take us through summer as far as something to talk about.
Exactly, yeah.
Basketball and baseball, because basketball will be done before we know it, and then baseball will be here as well. So, yeah.
Just good to see us put up points, because I know after the three were out, us putting up points now, we have been comparatively. It's pretty nice to see, even in our last 2 losses, putting up 3 points each.
Right.
It's one of those. That
and
at least the scoring.
It's crazy because let me see. I was watching, of course, the Blackhawks. We won against the Blackhawks, and they were productive. I think they've had 2 overtime games in the last 4 games. I think the Blue Jackets and the Blackhawks, but yeah, Forsberg's back, and it's like he hasn't missed a step. And hockey's kind of weird where they don't say, hey, Kurt tore his ACL, he's out for the year. They'll say a lower body injury or upper body or undisclosed injury. So it's kind of hard. Yeah, it's hard to know what you're working with.
I think it's because they target. Oh, yeah. If they're it's an MCL. I'm coming in with a skate.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just an interesting thing. I know Alan Pavlo, who's written for Chat-10 Sports, and he will obviously in the future. But David Poyle is a guy. We are just, I think, a few days under a month until the Predators and the NHL trade deadline. So there's some rumors. Obviously, every year there's some rumors kicking around. But the captain for the Predators, Roman Josi, is rumored to be a potential traded. Got to be traded. But it'll be interesting to see. I was talking with my brother, who's a huge Preds fan. Was trying to get some tickets for tonight, but he was saying, hey, if Poyle finds a reason to trade him, it's kind of like John Robinson. You have he's got a little bit more, especially over the last year, a little bit more rapport, I guess, and as far as his success rate as a GM. But yeah, Poyle's been fantastic. He's made the Preds what they are over the last course, the 4 or 5 years that they've been kind of dominant in the NHL. But all that to say, it'll be very fun to see what they do going in through the summer. What's the next topic here?
Well, we're staying in Nashville.
Vegas.
We're staying in Nashville, and probably the biggest thing to talk about for the Titans is the OC. Are you concerned as far as us being in no hurry? Do you think you have a little concern of lack of activity, yes or no?
What do you think, Kibby?
I mean, the season, similar to the OC search for the Titan, or the Vols,
the
NFL season is still going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think maybe a week or 2 after the season wraps up, we still haven't heard any rumblings. Yeah, I'm probably going to be a little concerned, but not yet. I mean, concerned, yeah. I'm always going to be concerned who we get. That's a big hire, but I'm not worried, I guess.
I'm a little bit worried simply because a lot of highly talented coaches are being
going off
up.
the board.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Titans fans wanted Gary Kubiak in some form because he was one of the. I think he might have been the first guy to hire Matt LaFleur as far as a position coach and getting him into coaching. But it's one of those things. Kubiak has a great offense for where they're at right now. I might be in the minority here, but I'm of the party that says Matt LaFleur leaving was in a positive thing for the Titans. Obviously, Mike Mularkey's stint here was meh, kind of where we're at right now. It's still 9-7. We've been 9-7 for the last 3 years, but I think, in my opinion, they had some success under Mularkey for the offensive line. I don't know if Keith Carter goes with Matt LaFleur to the Packers, but it's one of those things. I think that offensive line needs to go away from being a zone scheme running offensive line, go back to just block the guy in front of you and be done with it. But it's one of those things that because Jeremy Pruitt and Phil Fulmer have hit such a home run with Jim Chaney, with T. Martin, I think the Titans they're now in that position. Hey, ball's in your court.
Yeah.
Kind of go out and impress your team. But what do you think? Are you concerned?
I'm kind of like Kibby. Not right now. And I think, oddly enough, I know they're obviously two separate entities as far as that goes, but the Vols, how they scored, kind of being patient as well, taking 50-plus days to get an OC. It's kind of shown me, it's like, hey, these guys know what they're doing.
Right.
We're going to be all right. So I'm kind of the same way, 2 or 3 weeks out of the season, we still don't have anybody. Yeah, I'll get a little concerned. But right now, nah. They've got somebody they want, and I think it'll work out.
Yeah, and
Jared we trust.
Right now, I mean, Teron Davenport, the friend of our show, Chat 10 Sports, he came on a couple times during the season, but he did put the article out at ESPN.com that Mark Helfrich is a guy, John DeFilippo, among the OC possibilities for the Titans, which, again, we always say this about Teron, just absolute genius when it comes to, like, the unthought-of guys, and we talked about before the NFL trade line that Deshaun Jackson could be a guy, and ever since we've talked about that. But a guy like John DeFilippo obviously did have a great year with the Vikings last year. Greg Roman is a guy from the Ravens. He's an assistant head coach and tight ends coach as of last year. Mark Helfrich is the Bears OC, which he's had some success with Mitch Trubisky up there. Pat O'Hara, who's the Titans' current quarterback coach. Zach Taylor, Rams quarterback coach. And Mike Kafka, who's the Chiefs coach, who's still in the playoffs right now. Probably going to win the Super Bowl. So of those guys, of that litter, who kind of intrigues you and draws your attention as far as the name?
For me, in that, I'm kind of tied with two, but I'm going to go with Mark Helfrich. I didn't know he's not the one calling plays
for the Bears.
Mm-hmm. So I think there actually would be intrigued. There would be some intrigue for him to come down, be the head play caller.
Let him go.
Yeah, let him do it with his QB.
Yeah, and Paul Kaharski's made it known, like, these guys have to get permission for the Titans to interview.
Yeah.
It's not just the pick of the litter, but
right.
What do you think, Kibby?
I think it's just funny to see Zach Taylor on there for so many people. Apparently, if you've had breakfast with Sean McVay at some point in time, you're a head coach.
I waited on Sean McVay at a Waffle House once.
Titans holler.
Yeah.
So, I think that one's interesting. I don't think people should downplay Pat O'Hara at all.
No, not at all.
I think that's a solid hire.
But that comes down to familiarity with Marcus.
That's exactly.
I mean, we're talking his, fourth, fifth, maybe sixth OC since he took over in 2015. Pat O'Hara's had success with him and I was tweeting with somebody today about, Matt Neely, Titans fan, and he's on the RPO podcast, put a video up of Marcus and some of his highlights. It's like, this is the quarterback that we've loved and gotten to know and support. And Titans fans, like we said, with the Saints fans, like comparatively speaking, we're put to shame. But if Drew Brees goes out one Sunday, if he blows the Super Bowl, I have no doubt there'll be some kickback at first, but they're going to love him 5 days later. Yeah. But Titans fans have this niche of just finding some issue with the team, finding some problem with the quarterback, and burying the guy, calling for jobs.
Yeah.
X, Y, Z. We've all seen it and had it. But I think Pat O'Hara, like you said, he's one guy 3 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have had the intrigue that I do right now, just because of the familiarity.
Yeah.
But John DeFilippo's a guy that's intriguing for sure. Obviously, offensive line issues in Minnesota last year, but
Kirk Cousins is the OC Slayer.
Right.
The OC Slayer. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they get. I have, like you say, in J-Rob we trust.
Yeah. J-Rob trust.
Yeah.
Have no doubts that they'll do something, serviceable. It just sucks. Like you said, I mean, in retrospect, like LaFleur leaving may be a good thing scheme-wise for the talent that we have, but I definitely didn't want it to happen. I don't know.
We had to seen a little bit of it coming, man. He was a hot commodity last year. Everybody wants that young offensive guru.
Yeah. And John Atkins comes in and says, we all know it's about the X's and O's, not about the Jimmies and Joes, but do you think the Titans have what it takes to be better than the Texans or the Colts consistently over the next few years? Or will they do what needs to be done to get there?
I think it's really anyone's race right now.
Yeah.
Because
the margin between teams is minimal.
No,
very low.
I mean,
you saw what an improvement of the offensive line can do for the Colts.
God, and they fired their offensive line coach today.
Yeah,
but
from worst to best, I think.
As far as sacks allowed, they were worse, and now they're the best.
And maybe Sean Watson really looked as. I mean, he was so great. Don't get me wrong, but like
he wasn't dropping jaws like he was.
Right, his rookie year, you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna light everyone up. Like, is this gonna be what kind of division this is? But you saw him. He sophomore slump, whatever you want to call it. He looked human this year.
I think anybody who goes out, I'm sure Michael Vick was this way. If you have film on a guy, you know how to put him in situations. Exactly. And I think Deshaun Watson's that guy. I think. Obviously, Titans beat them the first time that they played them, and they got dominated the second time. But that's one of those things to me. I think, John Robinson's well aware. And Mike, I want to point this out, but Mike Herndon of Music City Miracles put up a tweet today and kind of did a thread about the OC rant. But the lack of activity and the names that Titans are talking to so-and-so, it not happening is not a factor that the Titans are just sitting on their hands waiting for someone to fall on their lap. But yeah, I mean, they're
professionals.
Yeah. Go check it out. But you got to believe and understand, John Robinson is the number one guy who wants to make this team as best as he can. Oh, sure. Obviously for his job, but he loves Tennessee. He's from Tennessee, from West Tennessee. So yeah, I mean, I'm in full. I still have confidence in John Robinson's ability to take the roster we have. Cut the fat. And I think we've gotten better as far as the roster. Obviously, injuries were a huge factor last year.
Yeah.
And like we said, the margins between teams right now are very minimal. As far as Texans are 11-5, Colts are 10-6, we're 9-7, and it's like this is the new age AFC South.
Yeah.
So yeah, John, I think for sure that John Robinson's going to do whatever he can do. I think, according to Mike Herndon's post about offseason. We're going to move into the offseason here. We actually, to give Mike Herndon some credit here, at MusicCityMiracles.com, he goes through and does a fantastic job of breaking down all the players that are currently going and have expired contracts, the cut candidates, guys that, we're going to go through each one in kind of rapid fire here. But let's move to that, guys. We got cut him or keep him is what we're going to call it. But Kenny Vaccaro, do you keep him or do you cut him?
Absolutely cut. I mean, keep. Sorry.
Keep him. I'm going to keep him as well. Derek Morgan?
Cut.
Quentin Spain?
Keep.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to cut him.
Yeah? I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, he signed a cheap 10-year.
I don't think it's a stretch.
Yeah, I think he's worn on his welcome. Luke Stocker?
Keep. I want to keep just because he's a ball.
That's the only reason I do. See, literally the only reason.
Hey, hold on now.
He's not bad. He's a great blocker.
I'm keeping him because Jonnu goes down. He served his role more than what his role is.
Exactly.
For sure. So I think his ability to block. He caught a couple pass touchdowns, so fantastic for him. But Kevin Pamphile.
Keep depth.
Keep as well. Benny Logan.
Cut.
Seba.
He's the best nose tackle the Titans have right now. Him and Austin Johnson. So who do you?
Yeah, but how often are they?
They're both kind of irrelevant right now. They have to give it. That's one position I want to see addressed is nose tackle.
Yeah.
I'm going to say cut him. But Brendan Trowick, safety, kind of a bigger special teams guy.
I'm going to say keep just for depth purposes.
Cut.
You gonna cut him? I'm gonna keep him
because Kendrick Lewis. I'm keeping.
I'd cut Kendrick Lewis.
Yeah.
And I'd keep Brendan Trotwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of how. And it was unfortunate because of the injuries. I think when Vaccaro was out with his elbow and I think had a concussion or whatnot, Kendrick came in and it was ugly.
Yeah.
I think he is a special teams guy. So I would cut Kendrick and keep Brendan if I had to pick one or the other. But let's say Will Compton.
Keep.
I'll keep him.
Yeah.
I think for Woodyard, for Jaylen Brown, for Sean Evans, obviously the rookie, I think Will Compton's a fantastic depth player.
Yep.
But also really good special teams.
Yep.
What about Nate Palmer?
Cut.
He's one of those initially never heard.
He was injured last year.
Yeah.
I think is what it was. To be honest, I love Will Compton. I love his bro mentality. I love what he brings to the locker room. I probably would keep Nate Palmer over Will Compton.
Okay.
Because of he's a little bit more athletic. I think a little bit more quicker. But I'm going to keep Nate Palmer. Not that we have to cut one or the other. But Austin Davis.
Cut. I think you can find something else just as good, like as a 7th round pick.
Yeah, I think they just signed him in the kind of a shocking moment.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, my hope is that they find a better backup than Blaine Gabbert via the draft and get someone there, maybe some other scrub besides Austin Davis. But David Llewellyn.
Cut him.
I'm keeping him.
Keep him.
And we'll get there in just a second. Ty Smith, cornerback.
Cut.
I'd cut him too because LaShawn Sims is good enough.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, so cut candidates, guys that Mike Herndon via MusicCityMiracles.com broke down as guys who were on the peripheral to be cut because of performance or injury issues or deals. But let's look at Jonathan Cyprien. Would you cut him or keep him?
Keep him.
I would love to keep it. If we can keep him and Vaccaro, man, that'd be awesome.
Fired. I mean, that's the
three-headed monster. You can rotate those.
I'd keep him. I'd keep him simply because I think he is a fantastic locker room guy. I think he's a community guy, but I think he and Vaccaro are so different in their play.
Yeah.
Vaccaro is such a physical player. Cyprien doesn't have a great history of being a great tackler, but I think he would make up in coverage. But Ben Jones, going to go some offensive line.
I'll keep Ben.
Cutting him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think and then let's just go right here, but Josh Klein.
I'm keeping all three of those guys.
I'm cutting Klein.
I'm cutting Klein as well. I think the interior offensive line needs. I mean, Ben Jones is getting old. He's getting up there in age. Josh Klein, I think let me pull it up here.
Who's gonna stop fights if Ben Jones leaves? You know?
I mean, Taylor Lewan's come a long way.
Well, he's the one starting fights.
No, he's not.
He came
I'll
over.
go to bat for Lewan.
Deion Lewis is down there. We went down to the next page. How is he up for?
Well, let me break it down because I wanted to touch on Josh Klein because it gets down to the money matters here. But if you cut Ben Jones, you save $4.5 million against the cap if you release him. Josh Klein, 3.25 against the cap, so you're saving some change there. But Deion Lewis, another contract. This is just reading off of Music Miracles from Mike Herndon. Another contract the Titans could get out of with relative ease is cutting Lewis to save $3.175 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think scat backs, the third down, the pass catching back are a dime a dozen.
But that's my thing. I'd cut him for the simple.
I don't cut him because he was the best running back we had for 8 weeks of the year.
I think Henry's turned it.
He turned the page, but man, I feel like it took something in the light of fire under him.
How much money is it saving him? 3.17 if we cut him. He averaged 3.3 yards, over a full yard short of his previous career low. That's bad. That's a bad.
But we didn't use him in a pass game like we should have. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
well, I think
if we find somebody that can use him, you got to keep him. He was a freaking monster in New England.
I don't know, man. I think this league's almost going back to this, not two-headed monster anymore. I think Henry has enough as far as his physical abilities to be the one guy. And there's, give him a break with, whatever second or
third down, long down.
Yeah, I mean, just certain situations.
You told that to Husky C.J. Anderson last week. Yeah.
He put it on, man.
Man,
he was fantastic.
That's gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Titans, I think, have a lot of work here. Mike did break down, too. Did a fantastic job. But extension candidates. So we're looking at Kevin Byard, Marcus Mariota, Logan Ryan, Derrick Henry, Wesley Woodyard. So out of those guys,
you got to pay.
Who's the first guy you're going to pay?
Wesley Woodyard.
Really?
He's the oldest.
Kevin Byard.
Of all those guys,
Woodyard is the de facto leader of that defense.
Osho.
I mean, yeah, he played. He calls himself the fine wine. I mean, he gets better with age for sure. I'm just thinking of all those guys. I'm thinking, Kevin Byard. You didn't hear an issue out of the safety spots this year.
No,
other than Vaccaro being injured.
Well,
man, he was so good when he was in.
Yeah, Cyprian's one of the worst tacklers of all time. But
It's true.
Why you put him back there with Vaccaro?
I just wanted to throw that in there because Mike Herndon does an awesome job, and that article is.
I love Woodyard. Like he's just like, to me, he makes such a difference when he's out there when he's healthy.
He's
like the whole defense comes to play when he's back there laying the wood. You know,
this is true. I mean, Jayon Brown's. I think
Jayon Brown's come a long way.
I think he's played, and I don't know if it's Woodyard's play elevated his play, but Rashawn made some leaps and bounds.
No, you want him to continue to.
Linebacker's not a problem.
He can take less stats,
but that's also a concern for me. Is if Jayon Brown and Rashawn Evans are playing well. Do you extend them or let him play out a couple of years, and what happens?
I want him to retire in the Titans jersey.
I'd love it.
Yeah. Selfishly, and that's not the way the league works these days. But I like a little bit of, loyalty to your players, man. That dude's been sweating, bleeding, everything.
Especially for us, we don't have that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's an oxymoron for loyalty plus NFL equals not computing. So it would be nice for the Titans to do that.
Well, how about somebody that has an OC?
Tennessee Vols, baby.
Yeah, let's move on. I know we're out of season here, but Big Jim Chaney's in town.
He's back
in town.
Jim.
Another man back in town, T. Martin. Mm-hmm. That was this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and got on the Twitter and
3 a.m. Chris Lowe was up in the middle of the night.
Just slow working.
Reporting
grinding.
That's huge, though. I mean, for recruits and stuff, the next year or two.
Jeremy Pruitt was National Recruit of the Year according to 24/7 Sports, and so was T. Martin.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder for the guys that he knew at USC that had verbally committed, and they haven't signed yet. I know he was receivers coach there. I think he was OC but didn't call plays. I mean, Tennessee, and say what you will, obviously the last decade's been kind of a joke. But Tennessee football is taking some big steps in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%.
So the question for everybody is, how does the signing of Jim Chaney and T. Martin change your expectations for the Vols in 2019?
Not a humongous jump.
A game or two.
I still think we wind up 6-6, but in close games.
All right.
I still think the talent level is pretty low.
I think with that schedule, we'd get 8 wins this year.
Yeah, the schedule's
a lot more favorable than this past year, but especially 2 years ago. So that was just
let's look at this. So August 31st in Knoxville, playing Georgia State, BYU at Knoxville, Chattanooga at Knoxville.
Mighty Mocs, baby.
Get a little payday for the Mocs.
Yeah.
But Florida in Gainesville. So I think if we win those first 3 games, that gives us some momentum to go into that game and potentially upset Florida. Open date then leads to Georgia in Knoxville, Mississippi State in Knoxville.
Yeah, don't sleep on State.
Yeah, Mississippi State I think could be an Auburn game maybe this year.
Yeah.
Then Alabama at Alabama, South Carolina in Knoxville, UAB in Knoxville, Kentucky in Lexington. Another open date, maybe that's subject to change, but Missouri in Columbia, Missouri, and then Vanderbilt in Knoxville. So right there, I could see the first 3 weeks with 3 wins, potentially. Mississippi State's a toss-up. Let's just say it's a 4th. South Carolina's a toss-up. UAB, I'm confident we'd win.
Kentucky, man. They're returning everybody but Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Missouri Vanderbilt.
And they're losing Jared? What was that linebacker's name that they're?
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, not Jared Allen. Yeah.
He's gonna be like a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
3-star, mind you. out of high school.
Hashtag recruiting is not good.
Yeah. Stars are garbage.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
It's
Missouri's got, what's his name?
Drew Lock's gone.
I know, but you have Kelly Bryant coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And then another, I don't know, man.
Good segue there, Kibbs. We're going to talk about some transfer portal.
Jalen Hurts?
But yeah, well, Jalen Hurts is out there, but do you think the new offensive additions in Jim Chaney and T. Martin could impact some of these guys? I mean, you got you got Jalen Hurts out there. I've got a list here from ESPN. Quarterbacks, like you mentioned, Kelly Bryant's going to Missouri, Justin Fields, Ohio State, and a few other guys that we probably haven't heard of. But the undecided guys, Jalen Hurts is in there, Austin Kendall from Oklahoma, Tate Martell from Ohio State for the quarterback section. Undecided running. There's quite a few guys that are in the transfer portal, and Jeremy Pruitt's looking at these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they have some type of potential recruiting talks. Hey, I've met with Pruitt before, so hey, we've got numbers and contacts.
Yep.
But there's a lot of offensive guys, and of course Eli Wolf from Tennessee's going, and then also
you got Jawan Jennings back.
Yeah, Jawan Jennings is coming back.
Callaway's going to the draft.
I'm trying to think.
Figure so, yeah.
There's an offensive lineman, Brandon Kennedy. No, who is it? Drew Richmond. He's in the transfer portal.
First 5-star ever had.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting thing because it's like
he was so trash last year.
But what's the issues? Like, is it just a starting thing?
It seemed like an attitude thing, man. That seemed to be the problem with the line because they could come out and play with people like Georgia, but then they would lay an egg against a lesser opponent. I mean, I don't know.
We did play to our competition a lot.
Yeah. That's been a thing. I thought that was a Butch thing. Until
this is still a Butch issue.
It's the Butch kids, yeah.
And Pruitt's made it clear, like we've said before, like you got to have 25 guys before you can really compete. So,
yeah.
But that's just something too. I know recruiting's obviously not finished, but T. Martin and Jim Chaney, both of those names, some of them, some people might say, "Oh, T. Martin's a UT guy, so they're just going to bring him in and give him a home." But I think Jim Chaney coming back is huge.
That's not a homer hire at all.
No.
That's a home run.
I just wonder where he'll be.
I don't think he takes that position at any other.
Well, I don't know where he's going to be.
Well, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. But he's not going to be OC.
So, right. They're not going to co-OC with Jim Chaney.
No.
Did USC? Did they get a new head coach, or did they?
Well, they did.
Did they?
But then they got an OC. They got the OC.
Well, Clay Helton's the head coach. I don't know who the OC is.
Well, the OC was went to Arizona.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
Cardinals. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Kingsbury.
Yeah, Kingsbury.
Yeah, they got a void now.
Yeah.
They have a new one now.
I don't know who there is. Who's the new guy?
But we'll start talking some USC for anyone that cares.
Yeah.
No, but that's just something I think.
Draw them out west.
I think between now and April, and even spring ball, like, there's a lot of things that could mix and change, and a lot of stuff to come up to the surface here. But let's move on to the BasketVols. Obviously, AP poll for college basketball has the Vols. They've been in the number 3 spot for like 3 consecutive weeks.
Duke went down last night, baby. It's going to change.
Well, did you watch that game?
I watched a little bit of it.
Was it like? Give me your.
Cuse is better than their record.
Yeah,
they're undefeated though, aren't they?
Yeah, Ty's battle.
Cuse is better than their Syracuse, the team that beat them.
Right, but they're undefeated, or they're unranked. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
they're unranked, but they have like 5 losses, and
Ty's battle's a first-round pick.
Yeah,
he's a monster. Put up 32 last night.
That's why I'm kind of getting intrigued by basketball, is because there's so many guys that
any
football.
Given night.
Yeah, it's just one dude like could take over a game, but
shot terrible from 3. Duke did last night.
Yeah,
I think
RJ Barrett's the worst finisher in the league. I feel like
looked like J.R. Smith.
But do you think Duke going down will have any impact on? Is it Michigan in number 1 spot?
Yeah, Michigan will, because they keep winning. They're undefeated.
How do they
they're
have
really good.
15 wins or 17 wins, and we're 14-1?
Depends on tournament. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably got invited to some early tournaments.
And it's just, that's just
Playing
fluctuation schedule. Some people backload.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I'm learning things too here, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the Tennessee Vols go to Gainesville, play the Florida Gators in Florida. And as soon as the bell rings for the end of the game, lots of chomps coming out, which I loved. I loved it. Freaking loved it.
I loved it when I watched it live because I saw Grant do it.
Yeah.
When I saw the shot of all of them doing it, I was like, all right, now, guys, let's not get a... It's just because... I I've always been about like you don't have to say anything if you're good.
Act like you've been there.
Act like you've been there. Keep your mouth shut, kind of deal. That's just I don't know. Maybe that was just my upbringing. It's just the loudest guy in the room usually is the weakest kind of deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever, dude. They're swagging. They got that whole. That seems to be their thing this year.
From what it looked like, they were going right to the student section. From what Admiral said, they were saying some pretty.
Admiral's gotten a lot. It sounds like he stokes that fire. He stokes the fire as well, but Admiral does get a lot. People come out to game. Like it's a thing now for people to come out early
hate on him
during his shoot around because they know he'll talk back. Because Admiral's a talker. That's what he does. So people, there's a group of students that come out.
Maybe it's just me. Like we were saying, the last 10 years for Tennessee football has been rough.
Yeah.
So it's like we have an opportunity to talk smack.
Yeah, and
raise our voice, and especially against the Florida Gators. I mean,
if it was any team other than the Gators, I wouldn't be torn on it. But because it was the Gators, I was like,
Admiral even said, he said, I've always hated Florida. That's why I did it.
Yeah. But one person who did not like it was Sir Coach Barnes.
I got to think
Pastor Rick.
I got to think Coach Barnes, especially like we talked about the Memphis game.
Yeah.
Got kind of lippy at the end.
Yeah, Penny
you got to think he doesn't like the mouth running at all.
Well, he said when someone told me that happened, this is quoting him, that's the first thing I addressed after the games. He said on Monday, I don't like it simply because I want total focus on the main thing.
Yeah.
And I think when things like that happen, it's going to be talked about. Coming from the guy, devil's advocate, coming from the guy who's going back and forth with Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think if your mouth is running, your brain's probably not working at full speed.
Yeah.
So during the game, I don't like it. Certainly don't like it.
But that's the thing. As soon as the buzzer happened, they weren't doing it like at the free throw line. Like, all right, give me the ball, let's go.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that it's like, all right.
I'm surprised he didn't do it after that corner three that Grant hit him, lock it up, kind of.
We were sitting there. My wife and I were watching Netflix or something, and I was watching it on the iPad, and I was like, all right, because I was sweating that game.
That's a tough game to come from because, they put on that three-quarter court press and they run the 1-3-1. It's causing us trouble. We're down 7. And, it's for people who don't know, that's really tough to come back with, especially even Bowden through that cross-court turnover. You're like, oh, no, this is it. We're going to lose. So a pressing team that tries to slow us down and then coming back and then just routing them in the second half was monstrous.
Yeah, Jay Bowdy, one of the best off the bench this year, just been straight cash.
Yeah. He's the Vols Manu Ginobili.
Yes.
Bench player started starter stats.
When I would see him not in the start, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But some players just mentally they come off the bench ready to go.
A good point that Jared Hill that wrote for us before, he made a good comment that somebody like Yves Pons, who has played European basketball, that doesn't, you can even see like Yves doesn't have that step and turn towards the basket. He's a swing player, so he's perfect for our starting lineup. Bowden's somebody perfect to come off the bench because we didn't have scorers off the bench when we didn't have Lamont.
And Pons adds so much length and defense.
Yeah, he's a defensive stopper. And
that's crazy, man. Same thing with the Predators. They have a guy, I guess farm league guy now. He was a first-round pick, but Eli Tolvanen, he was from Russia, played in the Russian league, and apparently the rinks are bigger, wider, and longer or whatnot. But it's amazing how much European players, basketball and hockey, and even
it's different.
It's just different, yeah, for sure. So I guess it works in the favor of the Vols. But I'm looking at some stats here. I got the wrong game up. Sorry, 1 second. But because I was sweating the fact, and we've talked about this before, as far as the Vols foul issues. I was kind of concerned as far as I think Admiral had 3.
Yeah,
he had quite a few.
Grant's been in foul trouble a lot this year.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. Like, all right, it's going to come down to the end. Our guys will be on the bench, and it will slip between our fingers. So I know. We're leading in the majority of factors as far as field goal percentage. 3 points, we're barely leading because that was kind of the Gators' game, was just hit as many 3-pointers as you could.
And they were garbage threes. It's one of those, that's where you worry about games, is people hitting threes that they shouldn't be making. All of them are step back, pull up threes. Come on.
Yeah, Tennessee's a good defensive team.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to earn your baskets.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we were talking about this the other day at the office, is like Kyle Alexander. The improvement this year has been just so visible.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a bad player last year. But he talked about, there was some, I can't remember if it was a tweet or something he did, where he talked about Rick Barnes. He's like, he'll tell you the things you don't want to hear, and that's why he's one of the best coaches out there.
But it's funny, I was listening to the local sports radio station here, and they were talking about how Texas picked Shaka Smart over Rick Barnes, let him go, and compared it to how Mark Richt was at Georgia, so winning 9-10 games a year, but they cut him and went out and got Kirby. Obviously, that goes the Georgia football route, and that wins for them. But Shaka Smart, I think they're unranked right now. Tennessee's number 3. So it's like, I think the Vols obviously had a huge win there, but I think, and I know people give credit where credit's due, that Admirals, and he posted a photo of himself. I think he was at whatever weight, and he was a little bit chubbier, and now he's just cut and
chubby.
Yeah,
now he's like shredded.
He's fantastic, but it's just something I think. I don't know, kind of a balance of like, obviously Admiral I think is an interesting athlete because he's committed himself to the program and the process. And Grant Williams is fantastic, but some of these other guys, Jordan Bone playing 37 minutes, didn't have a huge game, but I mean he's playing roles.
Bone's a really good defensive player though.
Yeah, and he's our primary. I mean, he is our primary ball handler. It's everybody. That's the thing is you see a lot of guards when you don't trust somebody, like Lamonte Turner gets a rebound and he's the type of guy who's like, I'll just bring it up, but they all just look right towards Bone because they know.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up with some basketball here, and then we're going to squeeze in some agree or disagree, and then we're going to click the buttons and be done with this one. Good show. We're getting around a lot of topics.
Got a lot tonight.
But agree or disagree is every week we do this where we throw out a hot take, and we're going from a wide range of sports teams for Tennessee sports. So, first and foremost, and for anyone watching, check in with you on Periscope and on Facebook here, but agree or disagree, Duke is overrated.
I'm going to agree because of what people were putting them at as the greatest team of all time.
Says the Tar Heel fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Tar Heel fan, and I'm also a big Duke hater. So, I think they're overrated just for the fact that what people were putting them as the greatest team of all time. Clearly not. You lose the Little Jones brother, and they lose last night.
So. What is it, 90 straight home games against an unranked opponent they hadn't lost.
Yeah.
Duke. I mean, that's Coach K, but like...
Yeah, I love me some Coach K.
I think overrated, yes. I don't think... I think Duke is still very much capable of being the number 1 team in the nation, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, an actual rated...
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're overrated. But yeah, people were chalking up to... I mean, people are calling Zion, the next Charles Barkley and like all this stuff. I mean, and he's good.
He's great.
That's an interesting comparison.
He's freakish. I mean, Charles Barkley could never do some of the things physically that
Charles
Zion.
Charles had a lot more game than
young Charles, especially Sixers Charles, could move a lot better.
Yeah. He wasn't always super chunky.
The round mound. Agree or disagree? Or sorry, go ahead, Duke.
Jeez,
sorry. I just
Grizzlies fans.
I mean, speak fast or speak never.
I'm going to say they're overrated because I think one key player. I don't know if there's other gaps and issues in the game or in the team, or like we said about roles for the Vols. Like everyone plays their roles so well that even for the Vols to have a close game against Florida and then come back, there was never that resurgence in the game last night.
Yeah,
and it wasn't hey, we've made some mistakes in whatever capacity. We still have the talent to bridge the gap. So I'm going to definitely say usually great teams, those teams that you say are fantastic, can do that. So I'm gonna agree. But number 2 here, agree or disagree. Whichever team wins in the AFC championship will be the Super Bowl winner. You guys disagree?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, the Saints. I got nothing but respect for the Saints. However, I think Tom Brady in the postseason is just absolutely deadly. But I think like we said before, the Chiefs have so much talent on offense that if you shut down one guy, Sammy Watkins, and if you got Tyreek Hill and you got Kelsey over there, I think they have more talent obviously than the Patriots. Saints. I'm trying to think. Michael Thomas for the Saints.
Alvin Kamara?
I mean, Kamara, yeah, but in Ingram. But I'm saying receiving, like, that can extend the field. And
Yeah.
I would love to see the Saints Chiefs.
Yeah,
but
that's my ideal Super Bowl. But, yeah.
Josh Johnson gives me some love and says he agrees with the take. What'd you say?
I'm thinking...
You said agree or disagree.
I say disagree. And it's one of those points that you don't understand how it keeps happening because Michael Thomas is legit like the only receiver you ever hear about. But you can't guard Mike. I mean, it's legit. Like nobody can guard this guy.
Yeah.
So until somebody's like, we can stop it. So, but I just don't think anybody can.
No, it'll happen Sunday at some capacity for that secondary to be. And of course, Marcus Peters has said, "Hey, tell Sean Payton to keep running his mouth and bring some gumbo, and we'll have a good time." But
don't be lethal.
Hit that next one, Kibby. You got it pulled up.
Yeah, agree or disagree. The Vols will win 7 games in the 2019 season. Agree. I think it's 8.
You think it's 8?
Mm-hmm. I'm the same guy that said how many? I almost made a bet to get
5 wins last time.
No, 7. I said if we reach 7.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Then I'll get my coworker Lauren Gentry's face tattooed on my rear end. And we had a game there. 2 games to go. You called it at the beginning. You're like, you're gonna be sweating so hard. And like I was like, oh my god,
because we were at that point.
We beat Auburn.
Yeah, we just beat Kentucky that week. It was nerve-wracking.
That's bold.
But yeah, I think that's an 8-win team with that season next year.
I think too. I'm sorry to cut you off, Chase, but I think with Wanya Morris coming in, sit down, listen. No, but Wanya Morris, obviously Darnell Wright hasn't announced yet, but they're saying he should be coming. Who knows with Trey Smith? I hope he's doing well. But Pavoris Crouch, Eric Gray, there's some pretty significant additions in spots.
Yeah.
Well, if you have Ty Chandler and then Eric Gray on the field at the same time, I mean that's fantastic. And then Jim Chaney scheming and calling plays as well. So
Big Jim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know about 8 games. 8 games would be like magic, like a fantastic dream come true to go from 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
we should have got 6 this year.
Which game are you thinking is a?
I mean, they kind of laid down against Vandy, in my opinion, but
it was.
I think that goes towards what you were saying, like Drew, Richmond. Some guys aren't buying in, and this is what happens whenever you don't buy in. What do you think, Chase? I'm
disagreeing. I think 6 wins. I think they're 6-6. We go bowling, but
we're going to lunch tomorrow. No,
I'm not going. I'm just not going.
All right, agree or disagree. We're going to do some baseball here, but in light of our conversations about the Braves and Anthopoulos, it's kind of reluctance and timidity, I guess you could say. That's a bold word, but yeah. But the Braves will finish. Agree or disagree? The Braves will finish 2019 in the bottom half of the NL East.
I'm gonna disagree. I think there's going to be some moves made, and our young talent gets one more off season together and one more season together, and I think that it's really, I feel like it's a stretch to say we win the division, but I think we're gonna do it again. So
you think we'll win again?
Yeah.
Respect.
Yep. Curdy?
Kitty, I know you're fuming over there.
He's thinking.
Man, the bottom half just hurts after winning it. I really want to see what kind of moves we make before I make this call, but I disagree. I think they, worst case scenario, get second.
Yeah.
To who?
To Phillies.
So you're thinking right now, I mean...
But the Mets are pretty daggone good on paper.
Mets?
Going into the season, yeah.
Or Nats?
Mets. I mean, the Nats, I think they're losing Bryce Harper, most likely.
You think so?
Yeah. Nats, I don't know. The Nats just find a way not to be good. The Nats should have won it last year on paper.
Yeah, on paper they're by far the best team in the hell. It looks like.
They got Scherzer, they got Strasburg.
I'm thinking the Braves are going to go. They didn't win 90 games.
Right.
But I just think it's a little different dynamic. I think our young talent was just different and just kind of worked. And we had guys that we knew were going to be good eventually. They just wound up being good now.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'm going to agree. Well, disagree for the sake of the NL East. I don't know if Anthopoulos just had some, his expectation is down. as far as the Braves' real time frame to really push for some offseason acquisitions, or if it's something, hey, let's, maybe McCann and who's the other guy they brought in? Donaldson's good enough to do and give what we need. Of course, we lost Suzuki. He wasn't like a game changer, but better than Tyler Flowers.
Nick Markakis. He's a free agent. Probably not going to
retain him.
Yeah, just with the signing, I think Culberson and Duvall,
They seemed good enough. So. I mean, he was swinging well, but at the same time,
he had a career year last year.
Yeah,
but my thing was leadership wise, he was a great veteran presence in the locker room. But
but you got a guy like Brian McCann that can.
Yeah, I mean that'll fill in. Get another year of maturation out of the young guys.
I mean, I'm going to say it respectfully. Jerk.
But yeah, that's just that's murder's row as far as divisions.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We kind of talked about this last one. I'm going to take that off there. But agree or disagree, Kyler Murray made a mistake by going to the NFL draft.
I'm going to agree. I just think the long term in baseball, because if you're Kyler Murray, you're going in looking at, I'm going to be an all-star. I mean, first round pick, all this stuff. You're going to think about he's going to make great money, and it's just it's better on your body long term. So I think you made a mistake. You?
I think go get that money. Get that money. I mean, for a guy like that, man, when you're excelling at those two sports, it's one thing to be good at two sports, but it's another thing to be first round draft pick, because first round draft pick in baseball is that you got to stand out.
But do you think he's that's the talent he has?
I think from what I've heard, I haven't watched the kid play baseball, but yeah, from what I've heard, he's got everything. And
did he play ball at Oklahoma too, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the MLB wants him so bad. So he's got to be.
But not $15 million.
Yeah, for I think they said the A's flew up near their whole coaching staff or something this past week to try to talk him out of, I think, going to the NFL. But my thing is, you'll always have that what if you're that level of an athlete and just of an overachiever in general. You always think, man, what could I have done? It's better to go into the NFL and go, I'm tired of getting my head beat in.
Yeah.
Than to just never try. I don't know.
I think he made a bad mistake. I think he'll get drafted. And we talked about it last week. Does somebody want to spend the draft capital on a guy who's 5'8", or 5'9" and 7/8" or whatever he is?
Yeah. Is that in cleats?
Yeah. I mean, is that
to the top of his helmet?
I think it might be in cleats.
I'm sure it is, because I mean, he is as speedy as he is. We've seen guys come in the league that they can move, but at the same time, it's you get abused.
Yeah, you don't want to tuck it and run. I mean,
no.
In the league, I'm sorry.
No.
Ask Marcus.
Right.
Yeah.
That you can't. That's not sustainable at all, unless you're a big dude like Cam, where you're just absolutely freakishly big dude, on top of fast and strong.
Yeah, and Cam Newton's been beaten up too.
Yeah,
He has the size to take it and not.
He makes linebackers quiver though when he does decide to run. It's just I'm gonna get him to the ground, but I'm gonna feel this.
Right. I just think within 3 to 5 years, Kyler Murray will be out of the NFL.
Yeah.
And if he's maybe in the XFL or the
we'll see.
American
My thing is
football,
he's gonna go get that first round money, and he's gonna never have the question what if.
So
he can go back to baseball for the rest.
If you picked,
because you can play baseball into your 30s and 40s and sometimes 40s.
So if you had the talent for both, which would you choose?
I'm sorry. The minute I graduated from high school football, I had never wanted to put on pads and trot down to a practice field ever again. So that to me just my head hurts just thinking about putting on a helmet, and so I can't imagine how he feels, being in the Big 12 and taking the shots that he's taken, and I don't know that I've never been that good at anything, so it's kind of hard to.
That's the thing is I've not been asked that, right? If you're really good at football, it's probably way better than being really good at baseball.
Yeah,
as far as star power.
Oh, the star power, the pool.
What people think of you in your city.
I'm thinking if Bryce Harper was equally as good at baseball than he was at football than he was at baseball, And if I'm that guy, I'm going to choose baseball.
Yeah. There are people that said Baker Mayfield would have been, he didn't pursue it, but there were people that grew up with it and was like, yeah, he could have been a pro baseball player. Athletes, a lot of times, that kind of transfers.
Yeah. I just think
there's a certain drive and everything that leads to everything. That leads to...
Get a dog came in, so if our cameras go down, we're good. It'll be hard.
Let me get Harv out.
Keep your ears open for this one, Kibby, but agree or disagree, the Titans OC is currently on the Titans coaching staff.
Yep. Oh, man, Matt O'Hara is probably my number 2.
Who's number 1?
Helfrich,
okay.
Realistically, yeah. I actually do think that I want Helfrich, but I think that O'Hara's, actually.
The breach has been maintained.
Yeah. We didn't build a wall.
Disagree.
You're going to disagree?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Pat O'Hara was the guy, but I just think there's got to be a larger ambition for that staff. You got to follow up Matt before.
I don't want to cut you off. I'll go ahead.
No, that's it. Okay. I'm done.
I think, and we talked about this last week, because obviously Jeremy Pruitt made it his mantra and his potential downfall for some fans. But OCs being overrated, I think a little bit can extend to the NFL for the sake, and I mean like a little bit, 15%. If I have a guy like Sean Payton or Pat O'Hara calling plays, I'm going to pick Sean Payton.
Yeah.
However, if you have the right scheme for the type of players you have, I think you'll win some games that you shouldn't. I think you'll lose some games that you shouldn't. Is Pat O'Hara my first pick? No. But the guy that a lot of people are talking about and he's not getting mentioned is Arthur Smith, the Titans coach. He's been in the league for 9 years, almost a decade. But I think he's familiar with the type of scheme.
You're familiar with the division too. That's a big deal,
right? But I'm for the record, I'm going to disagree with the take.
All right.
I'm hoping, a guy like Helfrich can come in. I think as a professional football player, you have to be able to be flexible enough to say, I can play in any scheme and anywhere. So I think that a guy like Lawan is better off just firing off the ball. But closing up tonight, guys. Thanks so much for watching us. I know it's been a slower night because the BasketVols are playing right now. 58-36, second half with 19-11 left in the second half. Admiral Schofield made a three-pointer jumper, assisted by Grant, so they're at 60-36 right now. But everybody, again, please find us on chat10sports.com. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on YouTube, Google Play Music, Spotify, and Apple iTunes as well, in case you want to listen to this or share it with a friend of yours. But check us out there, and then we will check you back next time.
Next week. Tuesday? Monday? What are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing.